Hey everyone, RigaRock2001 here. I want to make a follow-up video to the Fat and Slim PS2, and I've come to a conclusion. There's one model PS2 that I recommend avoiding at all costs. As for the other one that I said avoiding, well, actually turns out you can actually get your money's worth if you end up wanting to do a fun project or find one that's been refurbished. Now you're probably wondering between the 30,000 model and the 75,000 model, which one is the one you should get if you're wanting to tinker with or have a reliable PS2, and which one you should stay away from all costs. The one you should go for is the 30,000 model PS2. The one you should stay away from all costs is the 75,000 model. And I'm going to go over the reasons why you should get the 30,000 model instead of the 75,000 model. Now these are the ones that involve the two that people say you should stay away from. Now the 30,000 model, the only reason why that one's bad is because the laser assembly that were put in those units, just like the 1000 model PS1s, while they have the audio jacks on the back, the laser assembly was cheaply made. And just like the 30,000 model, it will fail from time to time, and then you'll have issues reading certain games, or it won't read any games at all. But if you wanted to, you could actually take apart that 30,000 model PS2 and pop in either a new laser, or take a laser from another broken PS2, let's say one that has a bad power supply, or the controller ports were defective, or one of the chips is corroded. It doesn't matter. The point is, if the laser is good in that one, you can pop it in the 30,000 model and you'll have a working PS2. Just remember, if you want to tinker with it, it's actually pretty easy. You just have 10 screws on the bottom, while all the other fat models have 8 screws on the bottom, just like this one. This is a 50,000 model. And the reason why I say you should avoid the 75,000 model, actually before I get into that, the 30,000 model, if you find one that's refurbished and has a new laser popped in, then I say get it. Make sure it's been tested and the seller says it's been replaced, the laser's been replaced, and they've tested it with CDs, DVDs, the high-speed blue discs, the black PS1 disc, and the silver DVD games. Make sure it reads all those, and then you'll have yourself a reliable PS2. Now, to tell the differences between the 30,000 model PS2s to the later ones, they would have an iLink port next to the bottom USB port, while all the ones like the 35 and 39, they have it next to the top one, and the later 30,000s. This is a 50,000. It does not have that, as you can tell. But that's how you were to tell. And also the screw systems is different. You would have 10 screws holding the case instead of 8. And another thing I need to mention on the 10 screw cases, these two back here would be the long screws. Everywhere else would be the shorter screws. You'll have 8 short screws and 2 long screws. Unlike the other fat PS2s, you'll have 4 long screws and 4 short screws. Well, this one would have 3 short screws and 1 medium-sized screw. And all the other slim PS2s will have 6. You would have 4 underneath covers and 2 underneath rubber feet. But anyway, if you wanted to take apart a PS2. But you probably knew that. Now, the reason why I say you should avoid the 75,000 model PS2, there's a handful of reasons why. Number one, the list of games, it has compatibility issues. If you go on Google and look up PS2 75,000 model, you'll see an article online, people having issues with certain games. If I can find it, I'll pop it in the description, but if not, then, well, you'll have to search for yourself. Reason number two is the fact that this also implies on the 70,012, the 77,001, and the 90,000 model, and the 77,000, if I forgot to mention that. This does not imply for the 79,000, luckily. And this involves the laser assembly. Well, the ribbon cable. when some people say they have their game scratched by their slim PS2. That's only with certain models. If you have a 79,000 model, you're never going to experience this, because on the other slim PS2s, the ribbon cable is held on by glue or adhesive on a metal shield. And from time to time, that glue is going to wear out, and the ribbon cable will raise and scratch your games. But on this model, as you can see, there are two plastic tabs holding the ribbon cable. So this is a brilliant design. They should have kept that for the 90,000 instead of going back to the glue adhesive. So that's just my opinion. And you'll never have to worry about your game scratching. I've had this since 2012. It has never scratched any of my games. This is why I recommend the 79,000 model. I still say avoid the 75,000 model. Yes, there is a piece you can order online that basically presses onto the ribbon cable, preventing your games from scratching. That's a good fix for the other slim PS2s. The 90,000 would be good for that. The 77,000 would be good for that. The 70,001 would be good for that, and the 70,012 would also be good for that. It won't make a difference for the 75,000. And another reason why you should avoid that one is, well, the same issue will be for the 70,012 and the 75,000. And this involves the AC adapter. Now, I made a video a while ago that people have gotten concerned about certain things, and, well, I just want to point out, there was one commenter who said, who cares about looks? It's not about the looks. It's about functionality. I just want to point out. And I have two slim AC adapters. This is a 70,100. Now, this is one of those recalled AC adapters. I don't know if you can see it right there on the print at the bottom, but the date code says 2004.11. This was made in November of 2011. This is one of those recalled AC adapters. And the reason why they were recalled is because some people had issues with their slim PS2s where this would overheat, catch fire, stuff like that. This has never gotten that issue with me. It might have with other people, but I guess I was lucky that it didn't happen to me. So, and here's my other AC adapter that I have. This is the one that was supposed to come with that. The 79,100. The date code is 12/2007. So December 2007. Now, anything that's made from some point in 2005 up until 2008 when they stopped making the 79,000 and switch over to the 90,000, those AC adapters are good. So it's not about looks, it's about the date code. That's the real concern I should mention for the whole point of making that video. So, if you're after a slim PS2 and you don't want to deal with the AC adapter situation or worried that you'll end up with a bad AC adapter, get the 90,000. The 79,000 would give you a good AC adapter. So would the 77,000. I'm not sure about the 75,000, but I know the 70,012 and 70,001 you would end up with the AC adapter that I showed you that was recalled. So there you have it. When it comes to certain PS2 slims, if you want to get any PS2, I still recommend the 39,000 or 50,000 if you're after a fat PS2, if you don't want to open it, that is. And the 79,000 for the slim guy, unless you don't mind opening up your system and popping in that ribbon catcher thing. That will make a night and day difference. If you have one of the other slim model PS2s, you should order that, and you'll never have to worry about your PS2 scratching your games. The only thing you'll have to worry about is your laser going to give up at some point, which I hope doesn't happen any day soon. So, thanks for watching. This is Rico Rock 2001 saying, well, there you have it. I gave my final verdict on all PS2s.